few weeks ago how Nikki Bella said, she wished that Brie Bella died in the womb or whatever. Well, maybe, you could wish that this feud would have died in the womb. The womb. I botched that, as they would say in WWE.
That's a botch. Yeah, that's a botch.
As the IWC would say, that's a botch.
And now here's Tyler Wayne Kirch.
Yes, fortunately there was no Diva segment like that this past week. But that's an odd situation. We'll get into itself a little later on, I guess. Now you got now AJ Lee was not left out of the Divas title match, and you got a triple threat for Night of Champions. It looks like there. So but no Stephanie McMahon on Raw this past week. No Triple H, and so you didn't really have any authority segments.
Thank God.
Thank God. But you had a couple, I guess, interesting segments, I guess, on paper. I mean, well, it started off obviously with John Cena, and last week, of course, Cena made it clear that if Brock Lesnar doesn't show up on Raw, then I'm gonna fight you, Paul Heyman, because he wanted to fight Brock Lesnar, and I think we kind of pointed out last week how it's like, well, if Brock Lesnar wasn't going to show up, Paul Heyman always didn't have to show up either, but...
well, actually, technically he could, because he's contractually obligated, and if he's not, doesn't show up, he's not meeting his contract then.
Well, I mean, like, you know what...
I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah. Creatively. I'm sure with the company, obviously, he was planned to... But, I mean, because, Brock Lesnar, for instance, he doesn't... obviously that's not in his real contract.
Yeah.
As far as his limited dates goes, but they could always if on in kayfabe he doesn't have to show up every day. I mean, he hasn't been there since like maybe the day after SummerSlam.
Yeah, but that's also his contract. That's how his contract is actually.
That's what I mean. Like you could play. They could have played that up in
that Paul Heyman has a similar contract to Brock Lesnar. He can choose whenever to show up. Pretty much.
Well, yeah, I mean right now, now I guess Brock Lesnar's on the Authority's good side essentially.
Yeah, and
because obviously last year Triple H was still babyface and feuding with Lesnar, but that's all history now. So but anyways, so Paul Heyman's there, and Cena. Okay, now here's the funny phrase of the night, with the Monday Night Football game with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
Which of course we were watching at the time and not, watching Raw. They play it up as John Cena, is going to give Paul Heyman until halftime of the...
hint, wink, wink, if I want to say what was going to happen.
Yeah, now he said, and it was funny too, he said, in 80 minutes, and, give or take 5 minutes, or 5 or 10 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny, because, that kind of... It's kind of like a little knock on the football game, like when that halftime is going. Yeah, coincidentally, it works out that around the same time, I guess the halfway point of Raw.
Well, no. As soon as halftime happened, and I switched to Raw quick, I see John Cena, I guess, pushing the Great Khali aside. He says, "Hey, Paul, guess what time it is? It's halftime."
Yeah.
So clearly somebody in WWE production was watching the game and saying, "Hey, it's halftime, guys. We got to do this. We can do this segment now, quick."
Yeah.
There's no competition for 15 minutes now.
Yeah. Yeah. So you had that. Paul Heyman getting locked in the got some weird noise in the background, but anyways.
The pipes.
Okay.
We're in the basement.
We are in the
We're in the basement.
Yeah.
We are literally
not
in the basement.
something that pops up every day, but on this show. But anyways,
only happens when somebody uses the toilet upstairs.
So Paul Heyman, was essentially trapped in John Cena's locker room, I guess.
Yeah, with a great colleague guarding it.
With a great colleague, guarding it. Yeah, at one point, Paul Heyman comes out of the room. He tries to, beg Khali, I have no reception in here. I'm trying to make an important phone call to Brock Lesnar. And then Khali just, throws the phone on the ground, and I guess sort of breaks either the battery pack out of it and then pretends to try to use it. I guess I don't know.
I don't know. I'm looking at it, watching it. I don't think Khali was right up against the door either. So Heyman actually could open it.
Yeah. So he had
maybe he could actually sneak out. And I know Paul isn't. He's a fat guy and gentleman and that, but Khali can't run for shit probably.
Well, yeah. You see the way he walks too.
Yeah, I know exactly. You tell me he can't outrun Khali to his car?
Yeah, when he gets knocked down, you see like the way he gets up. It's like
I'm just questioning John Cena's logic with Khali now, which I guess for Khali this is TV time, so he's got to be John Cena's brawl now.
Yeah.
His bro pretty much. Which if I'm Khali, I watch myself because John Cena's buddies don't usually have a good time on television usually.
Yeah.
Ask Evan Bourne and Zack Ryder that question. Usually it involves them getting their ass handed to them by whoever John Cena's feuding with.
Yeah. So yeah, eventually, well, between that and I guess halftime on Raw, as we're calling it, there was several matches that they had. It was pretty match heavy early on. They had Kane take. I don't even remember like who all they had. They had They had like a Divas tag match, I think, again, and
yeah. It was Nikki and Paige versus AJ and Brie.
Yeah, and now of course we mentioned that that's going to be a triple threat match. Now, originally, I guess it didn't look like it was going to be a triple threat match, but of course, now they don't want to leave AJ Lee out of it, I guess, and I guess that's a good move because it kind of left everybody wondering, like, wasn't AJ Lee going to get a rematch here or whatever at Night of Champions, and I guess that wasn't, so I guess they had to put her back in if they're gonna, trying to just put Brie Bella in the mix there, out of nowhere, or Nikki Bella, whichever one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a little I don't know. Seems like the long-term planning is not in full swing here with WWE and this whole Divas segment, and yeah, I mean,
it's kind of funny though because I remember watching NXT Takeover and
yeah,
one of the best video packages I've ever seen in a while was a Divas package for the Charlotte Bayley match. I mean, Tyler, you watch NXT Takeover Fatal 4-Way, and you see this package, you're just like, holy shit, this is what a package is supposed to be about. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's people who maybe saw NXT, and maybe they did. If obviously you don't have the network, you really can't watch the pay-per-view.
Right.
And that's one of the plugs of the network. But, no, I mean, it to me, it was one of the best video packages I've ever seen in a while, because it really made you first have sympathy for Bayley, the babyface, and make you hate Charlotte, the heel, pretty much. Which is, one of the key things that I think a video package, is supposed to do. And it was also very simple. I mean, it had generic music in the background, too.
Yeah.
But, it still was a simple video package, and to me, it's one of the best ones they ever did. Well, I love that, NXT somehow can give these divas, 10 minutes, and they can put on a pretty decent match then. Which is why I'm just terrified when they got to call Charlotte up and she has to work 2-minute matches and nothing. And she doesn't get as over as she is in NXT because people get 2 minutes. You can't really tell a simple story in 2 minutes in a match.
Yeah.
So that's one of those worries I got with NXT right now when it comes to moving these guys to the main roster.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've seen that. I mean, Bo Dallas lost to Jack Swagger this week.
Technically, even though I heard he won a SmackDown taping, which makes
then again, I mean,
even though I heard in that same match Jack Swagger dominated the match, and so it was a lucky win. And then, like I said, he can beat Jack Swagger. Jack Swagger is a nobody.
Yeah.
It's not gonna really mean anything. It's clear that Bo Dallas is in the doghouse.
Yeah.
Adam Rose has been in the doghouse for a while now,
Yeah.
to the point that the bunny has to help him out now.
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, I mean, how Triple H talked about how he doesn't view NXT as a development program anymore. He views it as a separate brand, almost like Raw and SmackDown, pretty much.
Yeah.
He even did an interview with Michael Cole where he even linked NXT as hopefully being the next WCW. Well, he's going to go that far. Why even move these guys to the main roster then?
Yeah.
If you believe that your roster in NXT is just as strong as the main roster, the current main roster is, why even move these guys up then?
Yeah. So,
Why not create another separate brand then?
Yeah. So yeah, you had those matches. You had another tag match with Miz and Damian Sandow, another loss.
Yeah.
Pretty much. A bunch of just, I don't know, maybe filler matches, but nevertheless, I guess matches and not Jerry Springer segments with the divas and this and that. So that wasn't too bad. So yeah, eventually we got to halftime and of Raw, however
Do you also notice that John Cena was wearing like black shorts?
Yeah, I did notice that too. I forgot to mention that so far. Yeah, that was a little different change of attire there, I guess you could say.
It's more of this like heel teaser. It almost felt. Once again, we had to go for another heel teaser again.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, oh, John Cena now he's wearing black shirts or black shorts, and I don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was
Well, no.
something we haven't seen yet.
I'm just going the classic Western movie stereotype, which was, the good guys wear the white hat and the bad guys wear the black hat.
Yeah,
Pretty much. I mean, that's always how classic Westerns go, and John always comes up as this classic character in that. So I don't know what the hell.
yeah.
I think it's just done to be just trying to tease people into to even remotely buying into this idea that they're even going to turn this gentleman heel. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Now, yeah. So he brought out Paul Heyman from in a headlock from his locker room, I guess, to the ring, and he's waiting for Brock Lesnar to show up, obviously, and Paul Heyman was kind of like trying to talk John Cena. He's kind of trying to play mind games with him again, sort of, and say like, "Oh, this is the John Cena we've been waiting for."
Yeah.
You're gonna hit me and this and that. So that was interesting. Once again, John Cena like kind of debating as to why if he was gonna hit Paul Heyman, and so eventually I guess he ends up like throwing him out of the ring.
Yeah.
And then Brock Lesnar comes out, and they have a bit of a brawl. Of course, Lesnar's starting out with a German suplex.
Yeah.
Kind of getting the better of Cena right away. Kind of symbolic of SummerSlam. And,
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and then Cena comes back into the ring. Brock Lesnar's not looking and starts.
Which is the only way you can really buy John Cena being a Brock Lesnar.
Right.
Is he's got a sneak attack.
Yeah. So yeah, sneak attack here, and they end up outside the ring, and they say how like I don't know, they say like John Cena appears to have broken Brock Lesnar's nose.
Which is not the case.
Yeah, it's not the case, and but it kind of made John Cena look like he got the better of Brock Lesnar there, and
yeah,
I guess that's sort of I guess how you can maybe buy him a little bit. I mean, Lesnar, obviously walked off all right, and so it wasn't a dominating.
I would be surprised that Night Champions. It's a one-sided fight again. This time it's John Cena. One-sided fight maybe. Just to get this guy credibility back. Well, that means he takes the title from Brock. I don't know, but
yeah,
this company's been so obsessed these last couple weeks to make John Cena look strong as hell, going as far as having him, beat up the entire Wyatt family. Yeah. With help from Big Show and Mark Henry, I might add.
Yeah.
I don't know how you look strong when you have Mark Henry and Big Show dragging Bray Wyatt's poor corpse back into the ring to take an attitude adjustment. I mean, like I said, there's this whole belief that this company is still so attached to this character here that we can't lose this guy.
Yeah.
I think the guy's bulletproof. I know people usually make fun of that. Nobody's bulletproof in wrestling, and that's true. But I think John Cena is an exception.
Yeah.
The guy's whole career's been an exception. How do you get mixed reactions and still get pushed as the face of the company, pretty much?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, at least though, finally when Cena and Lesnar meet in the ring again, on an episode of Raw, finally at least this time they have a bit of a brawl, and leading into the match, John Cena looks like he has a fighting chance here, and like they were saying, like this is a new John Cena. Here and this and that, so so I guess apparently maybe it appears he looks like he's got a fighting chance, and I guess it's a good good move in that regard. So after that, I mean, eventually, well, of course, now you have the Chris Jericho and Randy Orton match, I guess, going on, and that whole feud.
Mm-hmm.
The Wyatts, I don't know. They seem to be lost in the shuffle a little bit. I mean, the rest of the Wyatt family, at least.
It's funny how people say Bray Wyatt won the war against Jericho, yet Jericho has a match on the card.
Yeah.
And Bray Wyatt is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah. I don't know.
Sounds like Jericho won the feud in the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I don't know if they're gonna throw something together or what, but
best case scenario is this is gonna be a segment, or he might interfere in a match.
Yeah.
I said there has been rumors of him feuding with maybe Dolph Ziggler. I think that's a step backwards for these two gentlemen.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, Ziggler's only Intercontinental Champion, and, he won it from The Miz.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, the Intercontinental, I think ever since Bad News Barrett lost the
Yeah.
Intercontinental, that title's lost some value, certainly, so, I mean, they put it on The Miz with his new gimmick, and that didn't last long, and Ziggler, a former world champion, and now, he's down the card. Yeah, it's one of those things.
That's one thing I hated about Raw, because I actually saw the match in detail. Yet R-Truth, I guess he was wearing new ring attire in that.
Yeah.
And the whole entire time the commentary was joking about how they can't figure out who's Dolph Ziggler and who's R-Truth.
Yeah.
What did you not like?
I didn't even look into that match, to be honest. Actually,
Tyler, I'm not shitting you. That's the entire match is them joking about how they can't tell the difference between R-Truth and Dolph Ziggler. Are you shitting me?
Yeah.
Talk about burying a guy on commentary pretty much to a point where it's just like, I mean, the point where it's like nobody even acknowledges Dolph Ziggler's wrestling ability anymore. It's just oh look, he wears those stupid pink shorts. What a feminist, I guess, in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually didn't even watch that match. I just kind of skipped through it on YouTube, and I guess it's a good thing I did, because I guess I didn't miss much. But
no, you just missed shitty wrestling comedy again.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know, Miz and Damian Sandow come up, and I'm just I'm not interested in it at all. And I don't know. I just kind of skipped through that there. Get to the main event. So, and speaking of the main event, Roman Reigns against Seth Rollins,
who will be fighting,
which is weird. Yeah, which is weird because they're going to be fighting on the pay-per-view this Sunday. So yeah, I guess that's now. Yeah, maybe there's a possibility that at Night of Champions that Dean Ambrose comes back and interferes in this match.
No. I mean, I could see maybe they make some changes. Maybe they add Kane to the mix. Maybe turn it into a handicap match.
Yeah.
Just so Rollins can try to get a win back. And who knows? Maybe he gets the win back there, but it's only done in form of a handicap match. Maybe.
Yeah.
And they beat up Roman Reigns. They're about to maybe, put him through the cinder blocks again.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Dean Ambrose music hits, and he comes through the crowd, and he starts beating up Rollins again.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's but I mean they had this match on Raw. I guess before the pay-per-view. I mean it was a pretty decent match. I mean it wasn't a pay-per-view length match that you would expect between these two, but there were some good spots in the match, I think. Roman Reigns getting the win
clean
off of the spear,
straight up clean.
Yeah, so yeah, I
obviously which means throw these two out as being a possible main event of Mania.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I wouldn't see Roman Reigns, losing here to Seth Rollins, obviously. So, that's a bit of a surprise though that they had that match on Raw before they even have it on the pay-per-view, and that they have a clean finish.
I mean, to me, that means something happening is happening at Night of Champions. Something's gonna is gonna get changed to this match. Essentially, yeah. I mean that's just my guess. I mean, I'm probably gonna be right too, but
yeah. So yeah, I mean, whether that makes it like Kane in a handicap match, or a possible surprise Dean Ambrose interference or something, I guess remains to be seen. And yeah, I guess when we go over our predictions, we'll maybe we'll get back to that. Now, of course, also on this show, you had, throughout the night, you had the, the plugging of the fact, the whole Mark Henry rallies America tonight on Raw.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, that was saved for the main event spot.
That was
the last.
That's what closed Raw.
The closing segment, yeah, not Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns match, but this Mark Henry rallies America segment. Michael Cole bringing out Mark Henry, and Mark Henry kind of rallying America, I guess, in a sense, before they have this match at Night of Champions. I guess coming off of that arm wrestling. Well, they called it like an international arm wrestling challenge or something on SmackDown.
Which I kind of saw. Like they pretty much stole this whole Rusev feud is almost straight out of the '80s when it comes to wrestling.
Yeah.
As far as the foreign enemy and the American hero, pretty much in that.
Yeah.
Foreign hero needs to cheat to win, and so I mean, like it's straight up Iron Sheik stuff we're watching essentially right now.
Yeah.
Iran #1, America pop point.
Yeah. So anyways, you had
Got Nikolai Volkov singing the Soviet national anthem also.
yeah. So you have Mark Henry kind of fired up here. Yeah, and I mean we talked before we started the show. We thought it was funny. Mark Henry, who really pulled off that fake retirement. Last
So
summer.
he clearly can cut at least a great promo in his career. He has that capability now, but I'll give him credit. It was left field. I don't know. I don't know if I would have did it going up against Monday Night Football, but they did, especially at a time when the game was getting close.
Yeah.
I mean, and like I said, to me, was this done more as a response to the fact that it was the 200th anniversary of our national anthem.
Yeah.
And I say, WWE being the patriotic company that they say they are, would not miss an opportunity to make a big American flag. You got American flags in all four ring areas. You have the fans waving these mini American flags as well. I mean, even Mark Henry doing the freaking Pledge of Allegiance is.
Yeah, at one point he's leading them into the Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's a straight up '80s wrestling segment that I was watching here, essentially. But as the ratings showed, it tanked.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, I think Mark Henry Rusev gets blamed for that. Obviously, Roman Reigns is going to get blamed for that too. Clearly, the guy's not getting as over as they're hoping he's getting over.
Yeah.
Because when you lose the viewership they lost in the third hour, I mean, it wasn't just one segment clearly that dropped viewership.
Yeah.
Let's make some noise. Come on.
Yeah, Nick Foles and the Eagles starting to come back might have some hand in that, but yeah, I mean, I didn't. Yeah, I mean, it was another one of those things. Like I didn't get how they had this at the very end when this is like a mid-card match here. It's not a main event match.
Like I said, best reason is it was the 200th anniversary of
Well, yeah. Yeah, I guess.
Like I said, this WWE has always done this whole idea where I was like, the NFL does something, we got to do something too.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Domestic violence is an issue now. So it doesn't make domestic violence an issue now.
I mean, I don't know here. I mean, maybe they could have opened the show with this, or maybe they could. I don't know, but and then maybe they.
Tyler, I don't know. They had their strongest segment of the night, the main event, at a point in the game when the game isn't even happening. So you pull your strongest card out, which is John Cena. Your biggest attraction right now, which is Brock Lesnar. You throw those two together at the moment when your competition, your maybe biggest competition of the night, isn't even competing at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe they could have. They didn't have to have that at the. I mean, they could have had maybe an hour gap or something between. I don't know. I mean, they wanted it to happen at halftime, I guess, with John Cena and this and that.
Because they were hoping people would switch over to Raw, and I'm pretty sure people did. I definitely did, and I happened to catch the segment. Luckily enough, as soon as halftime happens, John Cena says, "Hey guys, it's halftime," which makes me think that the whole plan all along was to do the segment around halftime, whether it was the second hour or not.
Yeah.
As soon as halftime happens with the Eagles and the Colts, they're going to do halftime then, essentially. Yeah. I don't know how it's going to work if a Monday Night Football game gets delayed due to lightning or anything. Yeah. I guess during the delay, they'll maybe play some segments or something like that. But as soon as halftime happened, that's when the segment started, pretty much. As soon as I switched the channel, I see John Cena yelling, "Hey, it's halftime, Paul!"
Yeah. Well, I mean, because when I think about it, I mean, the game started at 8:30, and it goes like 3 hours. It probably doesn't end until like 11:30.
Yeah.
At least from. So I mean that's still the game. The game was still going on when Raw was going off the air.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I mean. And then plus, I mean, maybe I was watching some of the post game stuff too, and that. But I mean, by that point, it was 11:30 or later. So
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's what they chose it. They chose that segment there at the end with Mark Henry, and they're honoring the national anthem, and
Yeah.
and even though Mark Henry would go to the Pledge of Allegiance, I guess instead. I don't know, and of course it led to a brawl, which you would expect.
Yeah, Mark Henry
Before.
dominates.
Yeah.
Because the whole point here is the hype up that Rusev might actually be in danger of losing
Yeah.
his first match. Now, I still think it's gonna happen. I still think John Cena's just slowly waiting in that corner somewhere for that moment to happen, which I plugged. It was gonna happen doing a WrestleMania, but there's been also new developments as far as a certain legend might come back for a match now all of a sudden.
Who
But-
is that? I haven't been following.
Stone Cold Steve Austin on his podcast, and if you notice something, Austin got his podcast plugged. Now, best of my knowledge, this guy is not on a contract with this company anymore.
Yeah.
And it was Kevin Nash of all things too, and they said it was a can't miss podcast. Now, I listened to the podcast. I do listen to Austin's podcast, along with Ross's, and of course I listened to Jericho's one when he was talking to Dave Bautista recently, and so even the Triple H one, which was pretty good. But all the Nash and Austin one was toilet and potty humor most of the time. They really were telling jokes in that about it wasn't so much about wrestling. At least what I heard. I'm trying to think. This was a two-parter, because sometimes they do two-parters for these kind of interviews. But I don't know. But Austin the whole time was talking about on his podcast about how he's been training hard for he's been training in that, and there is this internal feeling to come in that maybe Austin wants to come back to actually do one more match, assuming they find the right creative opponent and the right the money's there.
Yeah.
The money's. It's all about the opponent and the money, really, in the end. Well, Punk's gone.
Yeah.
He's gone. He's gone. The lawsuit, in my mind, means this guy's lucky if we even see him 10 years from now in this company. He's gone. He's really burned whatever bridge left in this company.
Yeah.
Expect just as long as Bret Hart till you see this guy walking back in, and by then he's probably going to be out of wrestling shape at that stage in his life. Too old to even perform at the level. So I'm not even expecting this guy to come back for a match. He might just come back for a quick Hall of Fame plug, and that's it.
Yeah.
But the only other guy that makes sense, really, for Austin, as far as, is John Cena. Really. It is. It's the only one that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, different, contrast of characters.
No, he was
part of it. And Austin
was the face of the WWE at one point. So the only way to make sense is face of the WWE.
Yeah.
Which is John Cena. And like I said, at this point, I can't spot out Cena's opponent, assuming he doesn't walk in as champion again.
Yeah.
But, I brought up Rusev is a good idea. I know even Hogan plugged the hell out of it. Hulk Hogan makes no sense whatsoever. But I don't even think Austin makes any sense. Because the one thing Austin is not bringing up, which could still play a factor, is his neck.
Yeah.
This guy had the same neck problems that Edge had. Now, granted, he did have surgery.
Yeah.
Best of my knowledge. I don't know if Edge ever had the surgery yet on his neck. But, he needs to pass a physical yet.
Yeah.
But he can take a bump even still.
Yeah.
Because if his neck is still very fragile, like he said constantly, which is the reason why he said he really is looking to get back in the ring, which is mainly that, one bad bump, and that's it. He might be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life then. That's how fragile a neck his neck might be. So, I don't know. I mean, obviously Austin would know better about his neck than anybody else would. And who knows, maybe he had some doctors, maybe they said, yeah, maybe one match won't hurt.
Yeah.
Or it's just one more match.
Yeah.
Now, I'm surprised he would pick San Francisco, California, Levi Stadium as one, especially when the rumor is it might be that 32 might be happening at A&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas. You'd think, if you want to sell a pay-per-view match, have the native Texan come back for one more, and have it at, A&T Stadium, this massive Cowboy Stadium, essentially, in Dallas. But, no. So, Austin says, as always said, it's about the opponent and the money. Well, the third option is the doctor. And maybe he doesn't want to bring it up because he brings that up, maybe WWE is reluctant to even pay him the money then. Because it's like, well, Steve, have you passed the physical yet? Has a doctor actually medically cleared you to perform? Because, like I said, WWE has been very reluctant to have talent go in the ring that might die in a match. Or worse, physically hurt themselves to the point where they can't even walk anymore, maybe. which is why Hulk Hogan can bang all he wants. That back, the hip, the knee. I don't see him passing a doctor, a physical. He's got to take a bump. He's got to take at least one attitude adjustment from John Cena in the match. And as soon as that happens, his back might just give out then.
Yeah.
Not to mention the guy's just he's so limber when he walks. I don't even notice that when Hulk Hogan walks. It's just there's clearly something hurting in him still. So to me, it's Hogan plugging something out of that, but I don't see it happening. Best bet still is Sting performing at Mania.
Yeah.
The guy is actually still physically in shape, and so on. So, but like I said, it's just something that got brought up. Austin has been bringing up that he's been training for something. He might be training for a freaking movie role again, for all we know. He hasn't really given the details. But all right, that's more. Once again, the year-old speculation is that Austin might come back for one more match. I don't know how you top the Rock WrestleMania 19 match. To me, that was the best swan song you could give the guy. Faces his biggest rival. He loses. There's like a touching moment in that match where like Rock kind of like says, "Hey, I want to thank you for everything." And Austin, Rock leaves. Austin gets his like final like curtain call pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess people are trying to say that, oh, well, it should have been advertised as his last match. Well,
you never know.
Austin didn't know until the match happened that this was going to be his last match. And if you listen to Jim Ross's commentary, he's plugging it as if it's his final match. He doesn't say it's his last match because WWE didn't know this was going to be his last match or not. But Austin pretty much knew it was his last match. His hit from the knees to his neck injury, he couldn't take a bump anymore. But no, so I heard that, and if that's the case, John Cena is the only logical person now. Punk is gone. WWE can, I don't even think WWE even wants to even bring up the idea of the Punk. That, hey, Austin coming back. I know you guys wouldn't have that match in that. No, at this point, WWE would rather just fight this lawsuit with Punk probably over merchandise sales.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess maybe we'll get onto the pay-per-view predictions part of this, edition of the Great Wrestling Debate, since we obviously, it's one of those when we have a pay-per-view on our hands this Sunday. Yes. So yeah, I'll get the card up here. Again, I mean, there's some matches that you wonder if maybe they're going to throw on.
Mm-hmm. Well, the pre-show is going to be Jericho on.
Jericho, yeah.
It's going to be a peep show segment.
Yeah, with Christian.
Christian, who's still employed at the company, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I don't know. He had a concussion last time. It sounds like his wrestling career might be over for the company. It sounds like they might try to he might be switching just to. Then again, peep show. Yeah. Maybe this is where he comes back to as an active performer. Maybe.
I don't know. For him right now, it sounds like they're using Plan B for Christian. Yeah. So anyways, you got that as the pre-show.
Yeah.
Now I have on this card here on Wikipedia. It seems like they have 8 matches right now. One of them, the Usos versus Goldust and Stardust for the tag team championships. I wonder if maybe this is where they change hands. I don't know. I mean they turn Stardust and Goldust heel.
Yep.
And it just feels like the Usos, they haven't been what they were since they were facing the Wyatt family in that feud.
Is it Jay also nursing like an storyline injury too?
Yeah.
I believe it's Jay.
I think they're gonna. Yeah. So I think they're gonna lose the belts here, and
I mean, there was that one promo that they cut where they were arguing who was the better Uso too.
Yeah.
So do you actually split these guys up maybe?
Because
they're both athletic guys in that.
Yeah.
And so
they're both a good tag team.
And it's always natural that WWE, when they split up a tag team, they want to start like a feud with that team then. And I'm not gonna lie, I'd be interested in a Jimmy and Jay Uso feud possibly. But
it could be.
I don't know if it happens at Night of Champions. Obviously they're gonna have a freaking rematch clause too, probably.
Yeah, and then you wonder maybe they have to try to keep it together. Maybe
I'm actually gonna go to the Usos though.
All right.
The Ascension lost at NXT. Their almost year-long title reign of the NXT Championship has ended to the Lucho Dragons, I believe, is what Sin Cara and Kalisto call themselves now. Well, at least that's the thing. Sin Cara finally gets a WWE belt finally in his career. It's not even the real Sin Cara. It's Hunico in the Sin Cara mask.
Yeah. So So yeah, I don't know. Maybe they move, those guys from NXT up at some
I
point.
mean, they were on main event when they were plugging the NXT pay-per-view, but they might have just been up there to plug the pay-per-view, like they had Zayn and the other guys doing.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, although I'm not a big fan of Golden Stardust, I don't know. I have a feeling that maybe they're going to put the belts on.
I'm going to go the Usos because I think the Ascension might be their next opponent, maybe.
Because I haven't seen too much. Is the Ascension like a heel team or?
Yeah.
Okay.
We saw them live.
Oh yeah, that's
they beat R2. I mean, I remember that match because I remember that stupid kid in the back kept yelling "What's up? What's up?" the whole entire match. Because most people at the time didn't know who the Ascension were because most people besides me didn't watch the NXT product. There were a few NXT chants that broke out, and that's who watched the product. Because anybody who watches NXT knows that it's the better wrestling product right now in the company. It's like an hour-long show and has the better wrestling product.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe they bring up the Ascension. Maybe they turn him face.
I mean, right now they're feuding with Kenta, who now is being called Hideo Itami, I believe is the name that he changed his name, which got a lot of internet people freaking out. Oh, they changed Kenta's name. That's it. They've killed the character already in that.
Yeah.
I mean, until you look up, of course, the word Itami, which means pain in Japanese. So. And like I said, Vince is big keen on one short name, so maybe he gets called the main roster. They drop Hideo and they just call it Tommy, which is it. In Japanese means pain.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool name then, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just about the Kenta debut. It was very well done. Flair was not there. Apparently he was hospitalized.
Yeah.
So they had William Regal, who's the GM at NXT, come out and do it, which I think was better. But yeah, Kenta comes out. He's just learning English too. Like he cut a small promo on that, but there was a point we did a promo in Japanese, and I'm going to say this: the fans didn't shit on him for doing it. Now I later learned that NXT apparently was shown live on Japanese television. Like NXT was shown live Japanese television for this guy's debut, which shows you already how big of a star this guy is in Japan. When they got to show NXT live on television for Japan.
Yeah.
So, like I said, no, I remember when the Ascension came out, they threw him out of the ring, and you're thinking, oh, God, 2-on-1. And Kenta comes in, and all of a sudden he takes the tie off, and he starts.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he beats up both of the Ascension. Remember the former tag team champions here. Beats them both up single-handedly then. Then he grabs a chair. He places the chair down, and he sits on the chair and just says, hey, you want more? You want some more then?
Beast mode!
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, impressive debut on Kenta. I'm sorry, Hideo Itami. I gotta get used to saying that name now because it's a long name in that. But so I'm pretty sure Kevin Steen and Prince Devitt are gonna name changes too when they eventually get their debut on NXT. But that's why I like NXT though because of the talent they got here.
Yeah.
And so on. But I am nervous when these guys are called to the main roster. Because it's like all of a sudden it's like I get it. I get there's probably different creative aspects here that we're talking about here between the main roster writers and the NXT writers, maybe. But still, it's like, does anybody watch the NXT product when they call these guys up?
Yeah.
Because I almost feel like it's a 180 when they pull in some of these characters here. It's like, it's just, well, that guy never pulled that off in NXT.
Yeah.
If he did, he wouldn't even survive then down there. But, I don't know. Okay, so there's my NXT rant there for the day.
Yeah. Divas Championship match, triple threat.
Yeah.
Paige versus AJ versus Nikki Bella. I think Paige is going to hold on to the belt here.
Oh, boy.
I think there's going to be shenanigans with this match.
Do you think Brie's going to interfere?
Yeah.
Even though she has yet to really strike she's really yet to shown fortitude when it comes to her sister, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know what? I have a feeling that this... I'm going to get a lot of hate for saying this here, but I'm going to go Nikki Bella.
Yeah. I mean, that would...
I just feel like they're going to try so hard to keep this feud going. Whether people like it or not, they're going to just try to get this feud going.
I mean, maybe... I'm thinking like maybe there's interference and then this leads up to a Nikki versus Brie match at the next pay-per-view or something, but...
The only way they're
not that I'm in favor of that.
The only way they're going to go that route, Tyler, is if the towel's on the line. Because clearly nobody gives a shit about a Nikki Brie feud and there's like nothing on the line or anything.
Yeah.
So this company, they might just say, you know what, we're just going to give Nikki the belt just so we can keep this Brie-Nikki feud going.
I mean, Paige...
And at least maybe have a purpose then.
Paige would probably get some kind of rematch clause then.
Yeah, but here's the problem with rematches,
we'll
though. It's not like they have to have it at the next pay-per-view. They might just do it on Raw, and that ends that then.
Yeah, which would be a shame. But,
yeah.
But so I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. So
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's they threw AJ Lee in there, and then it's an interesting mix there. I guess now, Mark Henry versus Rusev singles match. Obviously, streak continues here with Rusev.
Yeah, I don't see Mark Henry winning it.
Yeah,
there's no point. He's
right. Yeah,
he's just there to help the young guys out. He's Big Show pretty much, I guess. In a way.
Yeah.
There's no point having pushing these guys for the roof anymore, really.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that. No surprise there. Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz again for the Intercontinental Championship. I don't see The Miz winning it back.
Yeah.
I see Dolph Ziggler obviously holding onto the belt.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not too thrilled about that match again. Having that match again.
I mean, it wasn't a bad match at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Actually was that nice sequence where Miz was able to reverse, I think it was the Famouser into a skull crushing finale. So yeah, no, I mean it wasn't a bad match, so
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Just the gimmick, I don't know. And just the feeling that, both these guys just, failed at the main event level and so that, and then Sheamus versus Cesaro for the US Championship.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Sheamus holds on here to the belt. Again, this feels like a bit of a step down for Cesaro too.
Who won the Andre the Giant Memorial Bout, and all of a sudden, Paul Heyman, and then that kind of fell.
I remember, yeah.
I mean, like I said, I've heard companies say that they're not giving up on the guy. They want to focus all their time on Roman Reigns right now.
Yeah,
that's their guy. They don't want to push too many guys to the top. I guess in a way.
Yeah.
They want to maybe go one at a time. I guess that's all creative can really handle is pushing one guy at a time, really. So, I guess it's just so they don't want to screw up Roman Reigns' push because I guess they figure, we'll focus on two guys, maybe even a third guy. Maybe we start losing less focus on this guy then, and that guy just looks badly then eventually. And I mean, like I said, this company's trying so hard not to fail at creating new stars in a way.
Yeah.
It's
Because
like you got a problem with concentration.
Exactly.
Yeah. Actually, that's probably a pretty good point there. The company does have a problem with concentration when it comes to they've done such a shitty job with creating new stars, building new stars.
Yeah. I guess they're being, cautious of how they do this with,
Well, yeah, because if they screw up Roman Reigns, I don't know. I don't know where else this company can really go as far as creating new stars then, because, Reigns has the look, he has the song, he has the entrance.
This guy, the catchphrase.
He has a catchphrase. He has everything that you could have there. Bobby Lashley, which I think was the last real attempt at trying to create a new star. Like, couldn't talk on the mic, couldn't do this here, but even then, he had this look down, looked like a superstar pretty much. So Reigns has something that Lashley doesn't have, so I think that already he's a better pick, but yet this company, they screw this up. Yeah. You got to be terrified that you're a fan then, because where else can this company win? I say Dean Ambrose, but even then, they could screw him up easily too.
Yeah. Yeah, then you bring up Bobby Lashley, and then again, he goes to TNA champion, and I guess that doesn't mean much compared to WWE anymore, though, obviously. No. So, but it is a little ironic.
Did you know why Bobby Lashley left the company?
Back in the Well, I remember following that, and there was like maybe Michael Hayes. There was like his
girlfriend quit. No. His girlfriend got fired.
Well,
so he quit then.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe that's definitely that factored into it too.
No. I've been told that's the main factor.
It could be, but I remember, that he was ready to come back from his injury or something, and Michael Hayes, who does have a bit of a history of being racist.
Yeah.
Apparently, they didn't have anything for him or something. I don't know. I remember at the time that's what I was hearing, but I guess
I'm telling you, it's because they fired his girlfriend.
Yeah. Well, I mean that could definitely be part. I mean,
that's the reason why John Morrison quit too, is because Melina got fired, his girlfriend.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but It could be more.
I'm just telling you that's the reason why.
Well, not that I mean, it could be one of the reasons, but I'm saying there's probably other.
I'm telling you, it was the main reason why.
I remember being following on the forums and back in the day, and I remember reading how Michael Hayes.
Yeah, but
didn't have
it wasn't like that was directly related to Bobby Lashley. There were other wrestlers that were pissed off about that too. And Heyman did get punished. I mean, I'm sorry, Hayes did get punished for that. I remember he did get suspended for the comments and so on there. I mean, but the real reason that supposedly that has been proven essentially is that his girlfriend quit. I'm trying to think who his girlfriend was. I think it was a former diva, and it was actually someone who was
Crystal, or I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was Crystal. Maybe she was the person that was involved in that potential Edge love triangle with Vicky Guerrero.
Well, I think she
remember when Edge and Vicky actually got married, and they did this whole bit, and all of a sudden Triple H reveals that this other female, the receptionist called Crystal, was the reason pretty.
Well, I think they had
has actually kissed Edge and actually is love of Edge. But they dropped that segment quick, but I think Crystal even did that whole Teddy Long love story too.
Yeah.
Where, Teddy has a heart attack on his wedding night on the wedding too.
Well, I think Lashley and Crystal had a kid around that time too. Maybe after that or.
All I know is that when Lashley first showed up in TNA, his girlfriend showed up with him too, as well. It's kind of like his mouthpiece. She actually did a pretty decent job too in that. I mean, she kind of played the bitchy girlfriend pretty well because he was kind of a came as a babyface, but once she was pretty much his manager, he became a heel because she just had that voice that just played like the perfect. Bitchy girlfriend kind of like my boyfriend will kick your ass if you insult me. Yeah. Essentially.
Chris Jericho against Randy Orton.
Probably Jericho's last appearance.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Orton. He's gonna get his win. He's gonna get a win back finally.
Yeah. Orton gets a win back.
Yeah.
And then Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. At least right now, it's 1-on-1. Maybe Kane gets thrown in there for a handicap match as we brought up earlier. And maybe some kind of Dean Ambrose interference. I don't know. I mean, see, it's tough to call that match right now because you wonder if they're going to make a change to it like that with Kane in the mix. So I don't know I don't know how to go on that really. But I mean, obviously, I don't see Roman Reigns losing clean to Seth Rollins alone. Mm-hmm. And of course, Reigns already beat Rollins on Raw this past week. Yeah,
I think Rollins gets his win back somehow. Shenanigans probably gonna play a role, and
maybe shenanigans.
And I'll just say Dean Ambrose probably returns that night.
Yeah, and then that could down the road lead to maybe a Hell in a Cell match between those two,
or maybe just a tag team feud. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows right now, but yeah, I guess it all depends on the schedule of the movie filming for Dean Ambrose if that wraps
Supposedly
up.
It's wrapping up this weekend, which is why they're planning on having him either come in on Night of Champions or the next Raw.
Yeah. So
I mean, like I said, the whole storyline with Ambrose is that nobody knows where he's at right now.
Yeah, that's where they left off with him. He escaped the hospital.
He escaped the hospital. He's out somewhere. No one knows where he's at.
Yeah.
He's probably hanging out with his coyote buddies again. If you watch that. But as soon as I heard him say that, I'm like, this is the problem I have with these storyline documentaries they do sometimes.
Yeah,
it's like watching Total Divas again, which is almost like storyline documentary too.
Yeah,
it's as soon as I heard the whole it's rumored that Dean Ambrose was raised by a family of coyotes.
Yeah,
I'm like, what?
So, so yeah, well, that'll either way, that'll help Raw because definitely Raw's been lacking Dean Ambrose the past month.
I mean, I think even the lacking of Brock Lesnar has hurt.
That too. Yeah, I mean that's that's been. But yeah, and speaking of Brock Lesnar, the main event match, obviously, I would think that Lesnar's going to win here. At least John Cena looks more legitimate this time.
I mean, they did redo Brock's contract now where he can work as many days as he wants. There's like a certain fixed fee now that they owe him. So really any pay-per-view. So I mean originally it was okay, at least 3 pay-per-views, 4 pay-per-views and that, but now that he's champion, they supposedly redid his contract where he can work as many days as they need him to, really. I mean, Brock still is not going to work a full-time schedule. I mean, obviously he's not going to do live events and so on. But so I don't know why WWE would do that and not keep the belt on.
Yeah.
Because then it's just stupid to even just renew the contract then.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I said, the ratings went down.
Yeah.
And WWE has this knee-jerk reaction of when the ratings go down, we got to put the belt back on somebody then. And at this moment, it's John Cena possibly. Of course he wins. He becomes a 16-time champion, so he ties Flair. You know, Flair's technically won like 21, 23 titles in his career.
Yeah.
They only acknowledge like 16 in that. Because some of those reigns have been at like live events and something like that. Like they really only got the pay-per-view and TV reigns that Flair had. You know, because there's actually footage of those reigns. Like live event ones, you know, you'll be lucky to even find a recording of, you know, from a camera of those title wins. So, you know, obviously Cena ties it up, which means he's probably gonna get the record then, probably.
Yeah,
but I can see that. Like I said, if you do that, don't even bother having Brock Roman Reigns for the belt then at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You killed whatever storyline you had going into that.
Right. Yeah.
The storyline, if you wanted to put over Roman Reigns as the next big thing, quote unquote, which I love, it was Brock's phrase at one point. He's now pretty much the conqueror now.
Yeah.
Well, if the conqueror comes in already being conquered in the main event,
it
doesn't have that flair.
Exactly.
Also, if the one who beat the one already has a loss on his record, he's not really that.
Cena doesn't need to win.
No,
that's the bottom line. I mean,
yeah.
Cena's getting. I mean, you know.
And really, how much of the ratings might go up? Really, when it comes down to it, how much will they go up if Cena has the belt back? I mean, come on. You did this with Del Rio at one point.
Yeah.
You know, oh, well, the ratings going down, so clearly it's Del Rio's fault. And I mean, you could say the same about the Miz as champion too. And you know, imagine enough, The Rock comes back and the ratings go up there, and all of a sudden you got the Miz maybe playing the best heel character saying, well, I was the most watched champion in the history of the company for a while. It's like, well, technically, you were the reason why people were tuning in every week. You know, he had The Rock come back after like 9 years and so. Well, actually 7 years, but anyway. So I just, if you're gonna go that route, first of all, it's lazy on their part.
Yeah.
Second of all, I think you pretty much kill the main event unless you're gonna go John Cena, Roman Reigns now, which might still have some value, I guess.
Yeah. But they would have burned up the whole Brock Lesnar factor coming off that, you know, WrestleMania.
Well, yeah, you kind of do waste him being the streak.
They can do Cena and Reigns later down the road. That's
they could. I mean, obviously those two are going to cross paths eventually in their career in a one-on-one contest. I mean, it's going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
But if it hasn't already, I don't know. Has Reigns ever faced Cena one-on-one?
I don't think
even when the show was just a heel faction.
I don't think they. I mean, I remember, like, you know, obviously there were a couple tag team matches.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, obviously the show started out. That's all they did was tag team.
Yeah, there was one on Raw. I think when I think they lost to him or something. I don't know, or disqualification or something like that. But yeah, not one-on-one from what I can remember.
Okay. So I mean, we look at that, and it makes no sense to take the belt off Brock.
Right. Yeah.
The only reason would be is that this company just went into panic mode instantly, but if that's the case, that's so short term. Then that's just so. Even if you have Rollins, even just to pull another 180 on us, you have Rollins cash it in. Is Seth Rollins really going to have the belt going into Mania?
Yeah.
Can you really do a Rollins Reigns feud after you just had Rollins lose clean to Reigns on a Raw episode? I mean, really, when you did that, and the fact that they're even going to be competing at Night of Champions still, shows me that Reigns Rollins clearly is not happening at Mania. I mean, when I made my predictions early on, Tyler, I said Reigns is going to be in 3 options. Really, I said Lesnar, Rollins, and Cena. Well, Rollins is clearly out.
That's out. Yeah. Check that off.
And if Brock loses, throw Brock out. Even if they do even still go with that idea, the original concept's gone.
Yeah.
You know, this young up-and-comer conquers the conqueror finally. You know, a guy who at this point might, you know, the rumors are that maybe Big Show might be the next feud in that, maybe with Brock Lesnar again. You know, I mean, I can see that too. I mean, I know people are going to say, well, look, this is younger guys. Look, if Brock's going to steamroll through competition, I'd rather he do it against veterans that at this point are never going to get the title back ever.
That are 37 plus.
I'd rather see him do that to a Big Show than a Bray Wyatt. I don't think Bray Wyatt needs to lose to part-time Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
You know, for the title on the line.
I agree.
So I mean, if he's gonna beat people, veterans make sense. Obviously, Kurt Angle comes up too, and that even though I still don't see him coming back in that company.
not
And
really.
I mean, but again, does he want to sign TNA since this is their last week of tapings for the year?
Yeah.
Because supposedly what they're gonna do is after this week's taping is that if they don't have enough episodes to go to the end of 2014, which is when their current contract with Spike ends up, they're just gonna show like highlight shows then.
Yeah.
So they don't even have enough episodes to air to the end of the year. That doesn't show you a good positive for the company really going forward. And like I said, if they find a new TV deal, if it's going to be on a channel that doesn't have a lot of household viewership as Spike did, does Kurt Angle really want to work for this company still? I mean, because at this point, this company is barely hanging by a thread pretty much then. I mean, already I've seen this company has hit, is a Titanic. It's already hit the iceberg and it's just slowly plummeting to its death, really.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's all in. The fact that Spike has yet to announce, and it's September, an extension shows me that they're already done with the company. I've never seen a channel wait this long to renew a product. Usually, for most networks, it's like right away. If they want to renew it, they'll say right away they want to renew a product.
Yeah.
I mean, but going forward, I mean, so Brock, I get lack of maybe competition for Brock. Obviously, Big Show's one. I don't know how many people are going to buy into the Big Show as a. Yeah. I mean, you can obviously sell the fact that Big Show can say, well, I never really lost an actual match to Brock.
Yeah.
I got ambushed in the beginning, got my ass kicked with like 20 different chair shots.
Yeah.
And then Brock was able to capitalize that.
Yeah.
So, Show could easily say, you never really beat me in an actual match, really. Yeah. So, I mean, but like I said, as far as other I mean, you could have Randy Orton feud. I mean, Orton could easily turn babyface in the way a second. Yeah. He still is begging about this rematch clause that he's guaranteed yet. Yeah. He hasn't gotten. I mean, and clearly he's at odds with the Authority on occasions. You usually have him turn babyface again.
Yeah. Maybe temporarily. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, definitely temporarily they could pull that off. And then.
I mean, but. So, I will be cheering the hell out of Brock Lesnar to win this match.
Yeah.
If John Cena wins the match. Even if Rollins comes out and he wins the belt. It's still a failure on my part. Either somehow you find a way to put that belt back on Brock. You somehow find a way to take it off of Rollins and put it back on Brock. It's dead.
Still, yeah.
It's dead. Whatever storyline you created for Lesnar and Reigns is dead. You don't have that buzz anymore.
Right. The opportunity wasted.
And like I said, and in my mind, you already killed Roman Reigns as not being your. And really, if you do that too, you're really showing your lack of faith in Roman Reigns then. Because you're essentially saying, Liz, well, we just don't think this guy can draw ratings like John can. Well, time people. It was like John Cena was an instant ratings, maker when he first got pushed.
Yeah.
Hell, he wasn't even like originally the first face of the company if you think about it.
Yeah. It took a few years at his main event level.
Yeah, to get really, over.
Yeah.
He had to beat a few veterans to get. I mean. Obviously, the Jericho feud was really his first match with an actual veteran really in the ring. Yeah. Grant, that's what the boost started, because that's when people started to really look at this guy's match.
Yeah.
Match style.
Yeah.
And already, like, people were starting to spot out stuff such as, well, he's kind of a one-dimensional wrestler, kind of. I mean, he has added, to his credit, a new variety of moves once in a while.
Every now and then, yeah.
So, I mean, he was definitely better than he was in 2004. You watched 2004, 2005 John Cena. So it's night and day compared to where he is now. So he is better.
Yeah. And
obviously he's not going to be a high flyer. I don't know where all of a sudden people come to this idea where you can only be good if you're a high flyer.
Yeah.
If you have all these, here's the thing I'm doing about WWE though. They do like to have a certain amount of talent.
Athletic, yeah.
Different talent at. Because that's what makes someone unique, is if you have one of that person. If the whole roster is made of high flyers, then them doing a moonsault or any high risk moves, it's just not unique then.
Yeah, it wouldn't be as.
Because then 10 other people can do the same thing.
If everybody was doing Seth Rollins, jumping off of the steel cage or whatever, it would start to lose its its value.
It doesn't. So I give you credit. You do need variety on a roster.
Yeah.
You need guys that are pretty basic on their wrestling skill, but they're incredibly strong too. They can lift guys up, which is very impressive to do. But you don't want to have. You also need high flyers because you do need to have people that actually can go in the ring and do these, high. You need technical wrestlers too that are can do like interesting submission moves and so on. So I do give you credit. They do know how to set up a variety of talent.
Yeah.
So, like I said, John Cena can go in it. I just think his character's gotten stale.
Yeah.
It barely needs some form of a reboot.
Yeah, and losing a Lesnar. I mean, it could be a new story where John Cena's future is in question, and he's I don't know, something like that.
I mean, WWE's got to play that storyline eventually. He's 37. Yeah. The only interesting thing I noticed about the Legend segment was just the fact that someone finally brought up the fact that John Cena is not really young anymore.
Yeah,
he's getting old. He's almost 3 years from now. He'll be 40. People.
Yeah,
he will be 40. And best to my knowledge. Someone could correct me in the comment section. I mean, we do have 46 subscribers. I don't know how we don't have a comment yet. But someone correct me if I'm wrong here. But I don't believe Vince has ever pushed anybody in their 40s as the face of the company.
Right, yeah.
Closest one might have been Dave Bautista, but he wasn't really the face when he got pushed for the move either.
Yeah.
And even then, eventually, John Cena overlapped him.
Yeah.
John Cena clearly was the better marketable guy than Dave Bautista was, which is kind of shocking because you would have thought.
Plus, Cena was on the A. Yeah, that's why Cena was on the A brand.
Yeah, exactly. Raw, and that's for more proof. Maybe
Batista was more. Yeah, it was on SmackDown during his main, his babyface run and World Heavyweight Champion.
And there was a brief moment where SmackDown was clearly lacking talent.
Yeah,
like some of the guys they had on the card at one point was just it was hard to watch it. It was hard to get through an episode of SmackDown at points.
Yeah.
Because I remember at one point they had Batista was out, Rey Mysterio was out, so the main babyface was Bobby Lashley, and this is when Bobby first started in his career.
Then they moved him to ECW and they had Edge as a heel.
Well, Edge is really when Edge got moved to SmackDown. That's when I think the SmackDown got interesting again. Really, if you look at it. He might have been the last great champion they had on that brand when he was because really that's when they got interesting again. I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, there were other additions. Obviously, when they had Jericho also on SmackDown, that got big.
Yeah.
I mean, but I just remember that brief moment when I think Batista was injured, Rey Mysterio was injured, and your top babyface, I believe, was Bobby Lashley at the time, and I felt bad for Bobby because he was not ready at all.
Kurt Angle left, and that kind of created another hole. Well, he was moved to ECW, and then he left.
Yeah,
that was only ECW a couple months, really.
Yeah. I think that when you add throw in a third brand, that clearly killed your one of your brands.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Rob Van Dam moving from Raw wasn't a big loss for Raw because
it made sense because of his whole ECW connection and Paul Heyman.
But I mean, I remember at one point they even had to have heel versus heel matches. I remember they actually had Booker. They had King Booker versus Finlay, but Finlay's kind of playing the babyface.
Yeah.
I mean, at one point, and that's really how lack of a roster they had at one point SmackDown in that. But even the Big Dave couldn't push the ratings really for that company. I mean, at the time on SmackDown. So. Getting back to my point here, if WWE puts the belt on Cena, even if it's only for a minute, you killed any chance of Brock Lesnar being a legitimate opponent for Roman Reigns down the line.
Right.
Assuming that's still the plan. Maybe like I said, maybe Vince has lost faith in Reigns already. Maybe he says this guy just isn't pushing merchandise we thought he would. Maybe it's a bust. I think that's too soon, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if it's put it this way, if it's TLC and you're still not impressed, then there. You got the Rumble yet coming up. You can that's where you pull the plug on them. Then maybe just say we'll give you maybe another year yet.
Yeah.
But you need the fact that this company has been done such a shitty job of creating new talent.
Yeah.
And, and like I said, and then I see them bring in new talent. You got Adam Rose and these promotional videos, and then you got Bo Dallas, and those guys are barely promoted now on the product.
Yeah.
That terrifies me because you could have Kenta all you want on NXT in that. One of the biggest international stars in Japan, essentially. You bring him to the main roster and you just still promote him the same way you do in NXT. It just doesn't work then.
Yeah.
But like I said, if Triple H's goal in the end for NXT is a separate brand, then fine. Create a separate brand then. You okay? We got young new talent. We'll keep the old guys on the main roster pretty much. Once in a while we'll do cross promotion. In fact, that's supposed to be. That's the one thing I was looking forward to on Raw was really because I heard they sent Zayn, Breeze, and Neville up to do cross promotion for Raw this week in SmackDown. But apparently that was just in dark matches. They weren't even on television. I was expecting these guys to be on television. As a way maybe to add more subscribers to the network. Because really NXT I think is a great opportunity to add subscribers for them. But like I said, it's kind of frustrating that this company still makes the same mistakes over and over again, it feels like. So I said, I'm going with Brock Lesnar. I don't.
Me
I
too,
expect. I
yeah.
don't expect to be dominant.
Yeah, not SummerSlam.
But like I said, if it's John Cena, this company is making the same mistakes over and over
Right.
again. And in a way, like I said, you didn't just kind of kill Brock. Honestly, Brock's gonna be fine. He's kind of bulletproof at this point.
Yeah.
But you can't. You can't have a main event Mania then.
Yeah.
You can't have. And you kind of killed Roman Reigns' character in a way. If Cena wins, you're kind of saying that we still can't lose John Cena as the face of the company.
Yeah. Right.
I'm not saying you need to, change Roman Reigns, already throw Reigns to the top and dope Cena or not promote Cena anymore. But no, by all means.
This is long-term plan.
Cena can still be promoted as this top guy.
Right.
But you need to have somebody come up at his level soon.
Yeah.
I mean, and believe, and when I hear like John Cena say, well, it happens because nobody else has ever reached that. I disagree. It's because creative just has never gotten behind a guy like they have. I mean, why does Cena have massive merchandise sales? Because nobody promotes the hell out of this guy.
Yeah.
If you're not going to promote these guys, how are you expecting merchandise sales to go upward?
Right.
I mean, besides maybe some hardcore Roman Reigns fans, who's going to really buy Roman Reigns if you don't start promoting this guy as, you got to start paying attention to this guy here. This guy might actually go somewhere.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's another rant again on my part.
Yeah.
But yes, believe that. But so I'll go Brock Lesnar. I will be cheering the hell out of Brock. I expect a more closer match. Like I said, and do I expect? Like I said, do I think Cena's going to lose clean? No. Well, I mean, you could have some of the talent come down that might want to feud with me. Like I said, Rusev might just be the next guy on Cena's list. I don't know where else you go for Rusev after Mark Henry.
Yeah. Maybe Big Show.
You could go Big Show.
Yeah.
They are kind of buddies.
And then maybe after, yeah, because you got through Mark Henry now, get through me or I don't know.
Like I said, I mean, but like I said, there's already been so many stuff. I mean, like, The Rock was even cutting a promo, an interview this week about, does he still think he has one more match in him? He says, yeah, he does. But same thing with Austin. It's all about, it has to be the right opponent. Now, I brought Randy Orton just because those two never really had a match, and I think the storyline speaks for itself. You got two third-generation superstars going toe-to-toe. I mean, going head-to-head pretty much. So, like I said, I mean, there's so much going on right now, but if I'm WWE, you put the bell on John Cena, you drop the ball, I think. A big opportunity, really, to push a new guy. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I obviously I agree with that, and I'll be cheering for Brock Lesnar too, I guess.
Yes.
You want to put it that way. All right, so yeah, that's Night of Champions predictions right there. We'll be back, next week on the Great Wrestling Debate as usual to discuss what happens, at Night of Champions and on Raw the next night, as usual. So, thanks for tuning in. Again, we encourage your subscriptions, comments.
Yes, please comment. We actually want to hear comments.
We want to hear some comments.
Like I said, maybe questions. Maybe we can answer some of the questions next week about some stuff. Maybe your thoughts on Night of Champions, maybe.
Yeah.
Good pay-per-view, great pay-per-view, bad, what was the good, the bad, and the ugly, I guess, really.
Yeah.
Give me some good questions.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'll look for your questions and thoughts and subscriptions, all of that right here in the Great Wrestling Debate. Thanks for tuning in as always.